Hey guys, welcome to the J-Chip Show. My name is J-Chip, and today I'm going to be reviewing
The Bouncer.
The Bouncer is a beat-em-up RPG for the PlayStation 2, co-developed by Squaresoft and Dream Factory, and was published by Square Electronic Arts. Yeah, remember that one time when Square and EA were bumping uglies? That was a weird time. The Bouncer tells the story of three bouncers in the fictional city of Edge on a rescue mission to save their young friend from the Mikado Group, a solar technology megacorporation owned by Duragon C. Mikado. And that's pretty much your plot. There really isn't a whole lot going on, at least for a while. The story does take a weird direction towards the middle, and I won't spoil for the people that do want to check out this game for the first time. But for the most part, it's pretty cut and dry. It's just your typical rescue story of one guy named Sion trying to rescue his girlfriend with the help of his two best friends. Starting with the positives, this game was pretty fun. I enjoy going up to the different bad guys and beating the crap out of them. I also felt that the controls was fairly nice. You got your different combinations. Triangle is your punch, circle is your jump attack, X is your low kick, and square is your high kick. You can also dodge by pressing the R1 button, and once you get enough points to buy certain moves, you can press the L1 button to pull off a special combo. I also really like the point management. Despite this game being pretty short, it isn't a cakewalk. There can be some situations where you'll get your ass completely kicked. That's why it's important to use your points wisely. You can level up your power, your health, or your defense, or you can save up some money so you can afford a special move, and it makes things interesting. And of course, you do have to swap between the three characters, which I highly recommend if you want to get through this game. But I think for the most part, it's rewarding for you to save up your points or to use them to build your character up. Another positive I had is the three main characters that you play as, Sion, Cow, and Volt, are pretty likable. Sion is your straightforward main character, his morals are high. You got Cow, who's kind of a knucklehead. He's kind of the goofy guy of the group. He's also voiced by Steve Bloom, great voice actor, and I'll get to the voice acting in a second. You also got Volt, who is the powerhouse of the group. He was pretty much my main man. I leveled him up, and he is just a powerhouse. He is a brute, and I really liked using him a lot. My final positive for the Bouncer is that it looks and sounds pretty nice. This is a launch title for the PS2, and the first game that Square ever put out for the PlayStation 2, and they were not holding back for this one. You thought the graphics in Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9 looked fantastic. This game blows them out of the water. The animation is nice, it feels more lively, the faces are more detailed, and for the time, they were pretty damn good. Square was not holding back. And sound-wise, the music was actually pretty damn good. The voice acting was really good, and one of my favorite things about this game is the fact that you could switch between the English dub and the Japanese subtitle. There's a ton of games nowadays that do have the feature of playing it through the Japanese, but I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this is one of the first few games that let you switch between languages. Moving on towards my negatives, while I do like the concept of switching between the characters, I think the execution was done pretty bad. There is some additional dialogue, but for the most part, a lot of it just feels pretty samey. And besides a few areas in the game where the plot does change a little bit, nothing really changes drastically. You can play as any one of these characters, and the story is pretty much basically going to be the same. Another negative, and it's possibly my biggest negative of this game, is that the camera sucks. I understand this was a time where the camera was kind of getting used to being defined, but holy shit, it is awful. There were plenty of times when I was just hit randomly because I couldn't see who was hitting me, and the camera is always focused on you. You're not allowed to change it. The camera doesn't change at all. It's just focused on you running down the hall. And a lot of the times it just feels like it's a camera that's hanging up on the wall, just focusing on you. And my final negative is that the AI is pretty bad. Sometimes they help, but a lot of the times they just kind of stand there doing nothing. Sometimes they just get their asses kicked. And a lot of times they'll just overpower and kick the shit out of the enemies, meaning that you won't be able to get your battle points. And it just seems very uneven with the AI that's helping you. Of course, you can play with a friend, but I didn't have that luxury, so I played this game solo, and that was my experience. Overall, the Bouncer was pretty good. It was an enjoyable game from start to finish. I had fun with it. There are some things that I wish this game fixed, but it's not bad. It's worth checking out. Just don't expect it to be this mind-blowing, great Squaresoft game of the good old days. It's just kind of run-of-the-mill. Let me know down below what you thought of the Bouncer. Did you play it back in the day? Did you buy it back in the day just because of the Squaresoft logo? Because if it didn't have the Squaresoft logo, I think this would be kind of a hidden gem. But overall, though, I did enjoy the Bouncer, and I would say definitely give it a shot if you find it for a good price. Big thanks to Mayasma Senpai and Warp Bay for supporting me on Patreon. You guys are awesome.